Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's been a big weekend. The Sorcerer video has taken off thanks to the help of longtime friend KT1. I appreciate that a lot. And then the Black Widow video is doing excellently too. And I'm really feeding off of all the encouragement, the positive comments, the feedback, and the constructive criticism. And I thought, yeah, how can I ruin all of this in one quick and easy step? And I realized we need to do a champions ranking. Okay, so I'm kidding a little bit there. I do realize it's going to invite a lot of thoughts, and that's the point, right? Let's have a good time with it. It's like debating who's the best point guard ever. There's no objective answer. There's no way to really solve that, but it is fun to talk about. So that's what we're going to do. I've never been a huge fan of rankings, but I'm also kind of understanding better now why they're done. It's nice to have an easy way for when I say I think Guardian is top shelf. Do you know what I mean by that? Or if someone is maybe new to the game, or they've just pulled a champion that's new, or one they don't know a lot about, and they just want a quick reference. Am I excited about this? Should I be happy about it? How can I use them? And then they can just come and watch this video, get a quick sense of like, okay, Vega thinks that Emma is this, right? And I think that's a help. So make sure to hit like and subscribe so you catch all the content. Before we jump right into it, I'm going to ask, I do want your opinions. I'm trying my best to keep up with all the comments. It's getting a little bit more difficult, but I am trying. But when you comment, do your best to be more like this and less like this. It'll be helpful. Let's dive in. All right, there they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to explain what I mean by the different tiers. You'll notice there's no gods mentioned anywhere. I've always thought that if you're a god, like that's it. But I get it. I realize that's just a way of speaking that's developed in gaming, and it is fun. I just wanted to get away from it. You also notice that there's really only 5 tiers. I'm trying to narrow those tiers down. I think there's a lot of unnecessary delineation. If you, in my opinion, if you have anything in this group that's labeled there, you're at least a little bit excited. Sure, you're more excited as we move to the left of the screen. And in fact, that's how I decided top shelf. Like I could give you the words and the definitions of it, and the idea is that they can handle almost anything, right? They're going to be excellent at so many various things. There's so much versatility. But when it came down to it, I thought, I don't care how big your account is. If you open a crystal and that's the champion that pops out, there's absolutely no way you're upset. Now, of course, I came up with that and I shared it. And a good friend of mine, Pure Gonzo, pulled a 6-star Warlock and was actually a little bit frustrated because he had just used his Awakening Gem on Gilly 99, who's also great, but he would have preferred to have used it on Warlock. So, you know, there's an exception to every rule, right? That's just that's the way life works. But that's what top shelf is. Super premium is maybe they can't do as many things amazingly, or maybe their utility isn't quite as good, but this is a super premium champion. You get them and you're taking them into a quest, you feel confident, you know that they're gonna be able to get this job done for you, and you're excited to have them. Premium, the versatility is maybe getting a little bit lower, or what they can do or how excellently they can do the thing has definitely lowered. I think there's a clear delineation between premium and super premium. You're still very excited to have them, and their versatility just isn't quite as much, or maybe they're not quite as amazing in as many things, or maybe not amazing at all. They're just very, very, very good. Call is a champion where you're calling your shot. I am bringing in Ronin for this very specific thing, right? I think we've all done that. We saw that in Abyss of Legends, and there's been other questing content, of course. Or it's call well, meaning these champions are good enough, the collective group of champions is good enough, your roster is good enough, this champion, it's going to have a use. You know, you might not be elated when you open up Hood, but you're going to stick them on that team with Ghost, and there's going to maybe be a fight here and there you're going to use Hood for. And he's going to do very well for you. And that's a big deal. That's good. And then I think that's just where we end it. It's not necessary. We don't need to talk about 150 champions. We're not even going to talk about all of these. Let's also not be mean, right? Is it necessary and is it kind? No, we don't need to talk about how terrible all these various champions are. They're in the game. We're all aware of them. Let's console each other if and when we pull them. But aside from that, unless Kabam's going to rework them, let's not sweat about it. Okay, so I'm going to go over the rankings. You can all see them there, I think. So I'm not going to go over all of them. The video would take forever, especially this being the first video. So what I'm going to do is I have talked with a couple friends. I shared this with a few friends of the channel, and I got their opinions on it. And I wanted to talk about some of the most heated exchanges of ideas, let's say. And some of the list has already been changed. Some of them convinced me after I was like, okay, I've just got to make the change. But so we're going to dive in. We're going to move quick. Doom. Doom is Doom. Probably my favorite champion in the whole game. I love him. He can do so much. What puts him over the top for me is that he can take a hit, I can make a mistake, and that doesn't mean I'm going to die. I do think that's important to know. A lot of my list is, of course, my experience, where I am at in the game. The only content I have left to do is Variant 5. I'm working through it and putting out the guides. I hope you're enjoying them. And I love War. I always have loved War since I came up with the War seasons. It really transformed this game for me. And so War is going to be a big part of this. And then, of course, my lanes in AQ. I'm in the top AQ1 Alliance. We have the highest score every week. And I know the lanes I take, or I know the fights that get shown in my chat. So if there's something else that you're experiencing or you see, let me know, right? We have different experiences, and that's one of the best parts of this game is all the variety, its complexity, and how for one person this champion might be awesome, and they might not be as awesome for someone else. So, all right, let's finally get to it. Doom. Doom is Doom. Colossus is incredible. I think he can do so many things, all the immunities, and he's kind of a plug and play, right? You pick him up and you don't need to read it too many times. You kind of get a sense of what to do with him. And even if you can't do the parry, he's still excellent, puts out a lot of damage, and it doesn't remove a lot of the other things he can do. Omega Red, I think you've all seen him just melt people. We don't need to really debate that, I'm sure. Captain America Infinity War, yes, you probably are helped out a lot by synergies and the high sig, but if you do it, he's so well worth it. Human Torch melts Mystics. One of the Horsemen for Abyss of Legends. I love using the guy. My War experience has definitely elevated him, and then doing Abyss of Legends has done that. Quake, I find her boring. I'm also not amazing with her, but what I see people do is incredible. Ghost, I think we all know Ghost, the way she can create those openings for you, the damage. Guardian, in my opinion, is definitely up there. If you disagree, please take a look at my Guardian videos first. Really make sure you understand him and what all the things he can do. And then if you're still not convinced, let me know. Let me know. Yeah, stay constructive on it, but let me know. I do want to hear. I'm always open to constructive criticism. Warlock, incredible. So much versatility. The passive heal block. He's a great defender in War 2. Just a quality champion all around. Aegon carried me through Abyss of Legends. Him and Unit Man was my best synergy. They did a great job. I found myself even using Aegon for things like Havoc. I just had enough. It felt grueling. I wanted to get it done with. Fury, also one of the 4 Horsemen, incredible. Still evades me as the 6-star. All I want is Fury for the synergies, and then of course his incredible damage and his utility. Captain Marvel movie, I don't even think you have to pair her with Fury, but if you can, I've seen people take full lanes in AQ with her indestructible. You get her charged up and she just plows through the content, especially now with the R3s. Her damage climbs and she just gets those fights over with so quickly. Corvus, of course, heals from suicides. Like that already would just, and then you add all of what he can do and the item saving. Now that we have the R3s, he's able to get his damage high enough before he runs out of charges. Hyperion, I know some people have said, and I heard this more than once, look, if they're not available as a 6-star, they just can't be top shelf to me. And, I can't tell them they're wrong. That's not a right or wrong. I disagree. I think I use him. I use him in AQ, and he does just as well as my R3 6-stars. So until if and when rank 4 6-stars are available and he's still not available as 6-star, I think he deserves to be there. That's where he is. And also, not everyone's playing this game at the Tier 1 War, Masters War, and AQ Map 7 5 days a week, and having defeated all content. So if if you're in the middle range of this game, or just starting out, or anywhere, he's incredible. And that's what this guide's also supposed to be about. So you get Hyperion, you are pumped up. Trust me on this. We'll try to move a little more quickly here through this. Super Premium, we already talked about that. So here were some of the major dramatic moments, let's call them. Claire V, Magic, and Sorcerer. I'm personally tempted to move Sorcerer up to top shelf. I get it that, she's probably not an Abyss of Legends option, and that's a big deal, especially in the game right now. So I get that. And I'm not even necessarily saying that she's the same as Doom, but I'm thinking she might deserve that designation. I can't remember the subscriber's name, but a couple of people made some really smart comments about Sorcerer, and there's even some things with her sig level that I'm just at the tip of the iceberg on her, and I could see myself putting her up there easily. Claire V, especially if you run Suicides, I think could be deserving of that. A really smart player, one of the smartest players I know. DLL loves her, has just been plowing through Variant with her. I like her too. I just don't know if I'm ready to see that. I think maybe enough guys in my alliance aren't using her in War. I'm going to pay more attention to that in this season. And then Magic. It feels... I've seen Magic do so many incredible things. Duke Gecko with the world first Doom Stubborn boss takedown this last season. What I've seen him do with that Flojo boss so many times. There's just something about her, I think, because maybe I don't have enough personal experience, but if you want to put her in that top tier, I'm not going to argue. Mojo, I think he needs a little better block proficiency. Yeah. And Simsup. Simsup for me is like the Mystic Archangel. If these two things exist, and for him, that's if there's buffs and if the opponent can bleed, there's no one better. But if it's not that case, he's limited. Let's move to mutants. I'll just try to speed up and get to where people had some disagreements. Emma. Some folks really felt Emma should be at least in the same place as Colossus. I think a lot of it has to do with the complexity of the champion, and Emma can do so much. I think there's times in fights, though, where it all becomes a bit much for, at least for me, to handle. She's incredible, though. I do like her. Some folks argued for Iceman to be coming down. A lot of that was due to his damage. That's a tough one for me. I like the guy. I think I almost have like a loyalty to the pixels that are Iceman. He did a lot for me. He helped me with his ability to tank the SP3s, and then he was an evade counter. And so I'm excited to see him as a 6-star. I want to see how that translates. Magneto, I know we're all excited for it. I can't wait for it to come in. I just didn't want to rush and put him in the top shelf. Have this video out there, someone see it, and then, what if they don't do what they said they were going to do? Who knows? Who knows? It's kabam, right? So, Sunspot, perfect block. He's incredible. Red Guardian needs that high sig. I really like what I'm seeing out of him, though, and I think he could be. He's a candidate to be moved up. She-Hulk. I think she takes a long time to get into her damage, and that in the fights I've used her in, I don't think she's top tier. I love her, but I don't think she's top tier. I think one thing that is underrated is her ability to shrug debuffs against science champions, especially with her sig getting up there. So then now that she's available as a 6-star, let's see how that goes. Thing, incredible, takes a while to get going. Void, incredible, takes a while to get going. So I think you're seeing a little trend there. Gilly 99. This was a point of disagreement. Germazoid. He's a friend of the channel. He's contributed before with some in-depth knowledge, and I want to do justice to what he had to say, and so I'm sorry, Germ, if I mess it up here. But he was saying, like, I'm not sure Gilly and Guardian should be on different tiers, but at the end of the day, I want Guardian more. And so to me, that's it right there. Is if Gilly saves me items every AQ, I can bring her in. I love her for it. But if I have got, just that one fight and they're both potential options, I'm going to bring Guardian. And I can't even necessarily explain it why. I just know that that's who I should bring in. Do with that what you want. Sparky, Variant 5 has reminded me of how amazing he is and how much fun he can be. Skill, there was quite a bit of pushback on Night Thrasher. I'm going to make it simple. I don't really know Night Thrasher that well. He needs that high sig, and I never invested in it. I do love the board attacks can not be evaded. You don't need to debuff an evader. You just go in and do it. But KT1 says he's great, and so I'm going to believe KT1. The guy knows what he's talking about, and if I don't have experience that says otherwise, I'm going to just go with it. Stealth S is a huge disappointment for me. I think he's a very good champion. I think there's a lot of things that limit how good. That he can't just access his slow, and that really bothers me. Squirrel Girl. I know. Trust me on this one. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I have a video on her. I've been trying to get out for a couple weeks now, but they take a lot of time. Watch that video, and if after watching it you're like, dude, I don't know what you're on, she is not deserving of that designation, then we'll chat about it. But for now, just be patient with me. Medusa and Venom, they are what they are. Great work on Venom, Medusa, the robot killer, and not that long ago was taking people through Labyrinth of Legends and doing it very, very, very well. So we'll continue to speed up as we get to the lower tiers. Premium, Voodoo, he's fantastic. And as the immunities are shifting away from bleed and poison, I think we're seeing a resurgence of him and the things he can do. Also, he has that reach, which makes stepping back a little bit easier with him. So I think that's something to keep in mind. Longshot for a simple champion is very complex. I'm seeing a lot of great things out there. A recent friend named Ink, he has a YouTube channel as well, Ink MCOC, loves him, has some good videos on him. If you're curious about Longshot, you might want to check that out. And KT1, of course, has a good video too. Man-Thing can do more damage than you realize. I think he's quality. He can do that. Morningstar, once you ramp up, it's just the process of ramping up. Sasquatch, I wanted Sasquatch to be better. That's where I'm currently at on him. Eventually, we'll get back to making the videos on him. I did find a new utility today. Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is the reason why I did not know how to play this game, despite playing it for so long. 12.0 made me realize, I really don't know how to play this game, but I did have a Scarlet Witch, and then they took that from me. So luckily I stuck with it, and I'd love for her to come out as a 5-star. It'd be fun. Tigra, I think the learning curve is steep. The players I see doing great things with her are great players. So, but I'm curious. I'd love to get a 6-star of my own. Maybe when we do the big 6-star featured crystal opening, we'll get one and have a good time with her. Mephisto, two buddies really wanted me to rank her higher, Pure Gonzo and DLL. They love him. They used him a lot in the variant, and those are two fantastic players. So, we might see him get moved up. I actually know these guys. I see their videos, and they're great players. Mr. Sinister, I know that seems higher than most people are used to. There is a guy in ISO 8 named Capped Communist. The guy, he is a mad scientist, okay? And he has shown me some videos with Mr. Sinister that are insane. I had no idea. And so I'm just going to need you to trust me on this one, that if you rank up your Sinister, and I think that Kingpin synergy is a big deal there. So I know you're bringing in Kingpin. That's one of the reasons why I don't have Sinister higher. So because you're taking up a spot on Sinister, and on Kingpin, and that's a drawback. That's a big drawback. Amazing. Read through his abilities, the ability to pause thing. It's impressive. Sabretooth, I got pushback on this one too, and I think there's some sense to it that with that new synergy, he's very powerful. I don't have a lot of experience with it, and I think anytime you have to bring a synergy in for something, then I take that with caution. Let's say at least it gives me pause. So if I see more, or I get enough comments, some smart comments that are really explaining why, we can look at moving him up. But I think that's something to always consider. And we want to. This is a living document, as they say, and so it will be updated as the meta changes. Namor, I got pushback again on this, especially from Germazoid, and the guy's a smart player. I mean, talking about graphs and numbers and reason, and then he shows you the video, and you're like, oh, you're very skilled at the game too. Okay. Namor just takes a long time to get into it, and yeah, the utility is great on that SIG, but you got to put the SIG all the way up to 200.
And a lot of that SIG you can get, it's a knockoff version through Omega Red, who I think is a significantly better champion. So, yeah, Namor's Namor. He's fine. Gulk, Face Me, right? I mean, if any of us have ever used Gulk with Face Me, you know why he deserves that spot. Invisible Woman, I'm really excited to see that Dragon Man synergy with her. I'm going to redo the how to play Invisible Woman when that Dragon Man synergy comes out, because we will be getting him. We're going to hunt him. Remember that. The first crystal with him and a mutant in it. We're going to hunt him. Make sure you're subscribed so you can see that. It's going to be a good time. And then we'll check out that Invisible Woman synergy. Rolk, the extra damage he can do is a great rework. Spider-Gwen, I love her abilities. They read so well. She's just a bit of a disappointment when I use her, but the reach on her heavy is incredible, which allows her to land that slow. If you have her, I suggest checking that out. You'll be surprised at how far it reaches and what you can do with that. Wasp, great synergy partner with Ghost. Can do tremendous damage, and she has a nice synergy with Havoc too. They make a good team. Ghost, Wasp, Havoc. Check that out. And we'll just stroll through the call list real quickly here. Dormammu, there's power control, dual immunities. Ghost Rider, damage is a little lacking. Gilly, love her. Hood, we talked about. Mordo has a fun synergy with Terrax. If you're doing Arena or something, check it out. He has his usage, of course. Doctor Strange, I got pushback on this one, that he should be higher. Excellent, but it's from Ares, by the way. We've seen videos from Ares too. Excellent synergies. I think it's with Mephisto and someone else. Sorry, but look him out on the Aunt May website. It's a great site. And he said it brings Strange almost back to where he used to be. And if you're playing this game long enough, you know that was a really good place. If you can get Strange back to that, that's a pretty awesome champion. So I'm hoping Ares can maybe send in a few more videos, or I can see a little bit more and check that sort of information out. But I know he said he used him in Variant 5, and the fights may have taken a little while, but item use was, I think, almost none, or maybe it was none. And he's already finished it off. So Bishop has his uses, especially if you're struggling with Korg. Cable has some fun new synergies. I think that gets like his power control, or his power flood going more, and the healing, and it's with Warlock, I believe, and Sunspot, so that can work out really well. Old Man Logan, the rework was good. Nightcrawler has uses. Psylocke with the power control, it's a little funky, and nodes just keep making it more difficult to use, but it is what it is. Rogue, great synergies with Captain Marvel. Her 6 stars coming out. Storm X, Ink, the channel I recommended earlier, has a great review on her. I'm not too fussed with her, but she has that really cool utility with the stun. Or if the champion shrugs the stun, she turns it into a passive. So that can be really helpful, especially if you're struggling with like a tenacity champion or node with the shrug. That's good. Wolverine X, I don't know much about him. I didn't do Lindy's Legends runs, but he seems like a good defender, and he can apply the bleeds and he heals, so that's nice. X-23, Abomination has that great new synergy. I think it's with Red Guardian. Hulk has a new synergy with Sasquatch. I want to test that out one day. I think that could be a lot of fun. Luke Cage, solid champion. MODOK can be good. Mr. Fantastic, I think the best things about him are his synergies, but I've seen some good use out of him. Iron Man and Infinity War, with the synergy with stealth, he can put out a lot of damage, and he has a lot of utility too. I think one of the differences with him is his utility, unfortunately, tends to be he's good. It's not he does this great. It's he does this well, and I'd like a little better. Nebula. She can be a lot of fun. I have her at R2, charge her, pair her up with Corvus and Proxima, and that shock damage. The shock damage is incredible. I really have a lot of fun with that. Yondu, again, has some uses. Crossbones, ability to not crit is good. Black Widow, the ability reduction is nice. Massacre, Rag Thor, they both have uses. Rag Thor can do the diss track lanes and things like that. Winter Soldier, you pair him up in his synergy, and Taskmaster too. Well played. You have to play Taskmaster very well. I don't think the payoff is that great, but if you're an excellent player, you could do some good things with him. Angela, I like her ability to heal, her heavy damage. I think either has, it's not guaranteed crits, but it's a very high crit chance, and so you can do a lot with that. Proxima, of course, can be an evade counter. It's synergy partner with Corvus. Heimdall, great synergies. King Groot, Phoenix, Hela, Ronan, all quality champions. They fit the category of I'm going to make my call, or they're just solid. I'm happy I have them. They're not the end all be all, but I'm glad they're there and I might use them one day. So that's the list. I hope you enjoyed. Please do make the comments. I do enjoy that interaction a lot. As the channel is growing, I'm not getting every alert I'm finding, and also I just can't keep up with all of them, but I do really appreciate it. When I say thank you, I mean it. This is a lot of fun. This list will continue to update, and I really am curious. I want your opinions because I'm learning a lot from you about this game, and you have a wealth of knowledge. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what you all have to say.
I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Twitter at VegaGaming583. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.